this is a perfect segue into something that I've wanted to do since I read both The Winning Edge by you, Shawn Harper, and Warwick has his book, Crucible Leadership, coming out in October. And I wanted to read just a couple of snippets about failure that you both write about, that it's like you're looking at each other's homework or something. Here's your, from your book, Shawn, what you wrote about failure. You must be, no, I'm sorry. Failure is your friend. Failure is where the lessons are learned. Failure is where you make your adjustments. Unfortunately, people run as fast as they can from failure. They shield their lives from failure. They won't grow and experience the opportunities. They're taught not to fail. You add, you must be willing to fail. If not, you can't grow. Warwick writes in Crucible Leadership, failure can be of great value. It can be the most refining time of your life. Difficult experiences can change you. In a sense, they can make or break you. Choose the path that makes you better, more whole, and a more resilient version of yourself. Failures and setbacks, your crucible moments, can feel like insurmountable obstacles, causing you to feel stuck or lost, but they can also offer an introspective inflection point that moves you toward more effective leadership and a life of significance. That's the life, that's the path you both are on and that you're encouraging others to be on. Fair?
Fair. In order for you to win, in order for you to play the game, you have to be willing to lose. And that right there is the question that you have to ask yourself. If life is a game, you're going to play the game to win. When you step on that court, when you step on that field, doesn't matter how prepared you are, how much shape you're in, what's the odds? In the back of your mind, there is a chance. Are you prepared to lose? When you invest, you don't invest money you're not willing to lose. Are you prepared to lose? And listen to this, the more you're willing to lose, in some instances, it makes you a very powerful and dangerous person. Makes you very powerful and dangerous. Because if you have nothing, you have nothing to lose. It's like, you know what? I am willing to lose this. Now, what it's like is you're around a table full of people who are playing poker, and that person grabs six or seven chips, and they take both hands and they push them in the middle, and they say, I am all in. Okay, what do you do with that? I'm all in. I'm willing to lose. Are you? Woo. Then the lessons that you can extract from that, okay, the techniques, the strategies, the relationships that are developed in that. We love the mountaintop, but there's water in the valley, baby. The lessons that you learn from that is, listen, the average millionaire, according to Google, has filed for bankruptcy 3.2 times. If you look it up on Google and say Google millionaire, it says 3.2 times. They have filed for bankruptcy. They have failed according to the world standards. In our educational system, I'm gonna take a shot at it because they have conditioned us to fear failure. Joe, you got an F on your test. You don't get a smiley face. Okay, oh, too bad. You're bad. Versus, hey, we have a great learning opportunity here. When I failed the first grade, I had to repeat the first grade. Man, it was horrible. For years I carried that. I carried that for years. We don't value failure. And yet that's how we learn how to walk and ride a bike.
Well, I mean, that is so profound because a lot of people fear failure, and when they fail, they're also not willing to learn lessons. I'm sure you know way more about football than I do, but you're an offensive lineman, and let's say you're up against some all-pro, and which I'm sure you've been many times, and they get by you and the quarterback gets sacked. Okay, well, that's technically a failure. Well, you could say, well, okay, I'm up against one of the greatest pass rushes and, history, and of course I'm going to get beat, rather than, okay, I got beat. What lessons do I need to learn about technique and positioning? And, it's like, okay, I got beat that one time. Well, it doesn't mean I'm a failure, but what can I learn? What lessons can I learn from it? Rather than some people, when they fail, say, well, gee, I was up against so-and-so all-star pro. Of course I got beat. There's no lessons because, heck, nobody could block that person. That would be a different way of looking at it. But you choose the first path, which is, okay, if I got beat, I lost that game. In sports, very few people have won every game in high school and the pros have ever played in. That's almost impossible. You're always going to lose at some point. So you lean into failure. So talk about, what did that look like in your life in terms of not being afraid of failure, embracing it, leaning into the pain and learning from it? How did that look for you?
I'm still afraid of failure. But you just do it anyway.
Right.
I'm nervous about some stuff. I'm nervous about investments, but you do it anyway. Yeah. I mean, no one, which kind of leads into like a totally different area. But it's like we fear death.
Right.
But that's where the growth is. Failure is death to your reputation, death to your brand, death to your perceived value. But in that death, there's life. And you have to go through it. You have to go through the canal of death to see the life.